Money, power, politics. And today, we are keeping an eye on one man, one company, Tesla. The Securities and Exchange Commission settled with Tesla CEO Elon Musk over the weekend on charges stemming from Musk's tweet in August about taking the company private. The settlement calls for a $20 million fine from both Tesla and Elon Musk. In addition, Musk will step down as chairman for 3 years, but he remains CEO. And 2 new independent directors will be brought on to the Tesla board, and oversight will be required for all written communications from Musk, including tweets. Felix, Salmon back with me. Okie doke. First, is this a good move for Tesla? I mean, everyone could say this is a massive fine. It's not a massive fine.
It's a minuscule.
Elon Musk is worth billions and billions of dollars. He can blow his nose with 20 million bucks.
Tesla's worth $50-60 billion. Elon Musk is worth $20 billion. So, yeah, the fine is nothing. The fine doubled, by the way. He turned down the opportunity to pay a $10 million fine. So then the SEC sued him, and then he settled for $20 million. But it's all pocket change to
Okay,
Elon.
But here's what people don't understand. Tesla is worth, what did you say?
60 billion-ish?
$60 billion. And Elon Musk is saying to employees, get excited, guys. We may be about to turn a profit.
Tesla has never made a profit.
Okay,
Never
so to
once.
the average person out there, can you speak to the absurdity, the perverseness of that? Because people go, everybody loves those Teslas. They don't make money.
He hasn't been able to build cars. This is the problem. He's made almost no cars over the 10 years or so that Tesla's been in existence. He's lost money. He's kept on promising profitability just around the corner, promising new models, promising ramped up production. And every time he makes a promise, he fails to deliver on it.
So what could this promise or this hint even to employees be based on? Even before he sent out the incorrect, the enraged tweet going private for 20, before he then went on a podcast in California smoking weed, he was having problems with Model 3 production. He knew that there were competitors getting cars out there. So what could he possibly be speaking of? Talking out of school is exactly why short sellers go after him.
Yeah, he's got this crazy short-term obsession of like trying to hit targets this week, trying to get the stock price up tomorrow. This probably explains why he settled with the SEC, because he wants the share price to go up. He wants to reduce his borrowing costs. But he's lost sight of the big picture. He's making these decisions. Like, he actually told the SEC that he chose that 420 price because he wanted to impress his girlfriend with a weed joke.
Just think about that for a moment, because he wanted to impress his girlfriend with a weed joke. Then what does this do to Musk in terms of being sued by shareholders?
So there are a lot of lawsuits coming at Musk from a million different directions, not just shareholders. Remember, there's a cave diver in Thailand who's suing him for libel and slander in both California and London after Musk repeatedly called him a pedophile with absolutely no evidence whatsoever. Musk creates problems all day, every day, largely through Twitter, but also in other ways. And it's great that he's stepping down as chairman and that someone else is going to come in to try and give a modicum of oversight, because Tesla needs that.
But can oversight actually be put in place? There was talk that he would have to step down as CEO, but he's not leaving. He's staying on as CEO. The board is adding 2 independent directors, but it's still stacked with his homeboys, including his brother. So why would anyone think anything is going to change? Shareholders are loving it this morning.
Shareholders love it because the SEC lawsuit has gone away, and the SEC lawsuit was the big danger to Musk. There's probably $10 billion of Musk premium in the share price. If he goes away, then $10 billion gets wiped off the value of the company.
He's a branding genius.
He's a branding genius. He is kind of necessary for Tesla to exist, but he's also a chaos monkey. He jumps around.
But why is he necessary for Tesla to exist? If Tesla makes a great product, isn't that all that matters? If the idea from the SEC is, well, it's a risk to the company and the brand if he's not there, aren't they somehow getting themselves involved in a marketing spoof?
Well, right now, there's no indication that Tesla has a viable business model. As I say, it's never once made a penny of profit. Elon Musk.
Tesla owners do really like it.
Tesla owners like it. If you are lucky enough to have a Tesla, then you almost certainly love that Tesla. But all of this self-driving capability that he's been talking up for many years has yet to arrive. There's not actually indication that self-driving is safer like he said it would be. So I feel like Tesla is going to approach those levels a bit like Facebook and other companies where people used to love it and then start mistrusting it?
But quickly before we go, they're saying, well, one big change, now the company will have oversight over his tweets. Isn't that the case for almost all CEOs out there? I can't think of another company whose CEO goes fully rogue. I mean, there's, especially public companies, they're so careful.
Most CEOs listen to their lawyers. The big difference with Elon Musk, a bit like Donald Trump, is they don't listen to their lawyers and they just go off and tweet whatever they think. And that's never a good idea if you're in that public role.
My goodness. Well, Elon Musk isn't going anywhere, and this story is sure to get more exciting. I know we'll be paying attention to that big profitability coming soon.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.